it should also be kept in the brain. If you want to know what they know, because knowledge is still located in the brain or inside the brain, you have to talk to them. So who are you going to talk to? Then you're going to have this directory of corporate experts, which tell you who knows what, and that is to do with tagging and serving the other people that know things in the company, and then you tell them and what you know, and they tell you what they know, right? So that's how you get access that tacit knowledge. Okay. Next is learning management system, or LMS. So this is more or less what you actually could think of, like Blackboard that you are using for at July, right? Providing tools for management, delivery, tracking, and assessment of employees, learning and training, support multiple modes of learning with based classes, online forums, and so on. Automate selection and admission of courses, deliver learning content, measure learning effectiveness, something like massively open online courses or MOOCs, web course open to large number of participants. Okay, basically, this is something that you may have come across already, because we are now studying online, and we had to use something like Blackboard as our learning management system to help us to manage our e-learning courses or online courses. Like in the company, why do they need like this sort of learning management system? Because there's a lot of knowledge that is not like the generic knowledge. It's a knowledge that was extracted out from like the employees based on the experience that work for this company. The knowledge that they learn from working this company is very special knowledge. It's something, it's something unique. I mean, to work for this company, you got to know this pieces of knowledge, which is going to be something that maybe not applicable in our organization, but just for these company and for this organization, it's these particular knowledge that you need to know. For example, like if you are the repair person, like you fix this company produce technologies, and then sometimes technologies has got problems, and you have to go out and then fix the technology for your clients or customers. And this company's technology is not like other companies' technology. It has a unique function and unique technical specification and things like that. So that is also needs to be like, specific pieces of knowledge on how you fix this technology, which is not going to be like other companies' technologies. So these fixing knowledge, repairing knowledge can then be learned from the experience of this technician who has gone out to really fix and repair the technologies for like the customer. They learn something from fixing it. They've got the knowledge, and this is, like I said to you before, this is very spatial knowledge, which is not going to be something. This is going to be the knowledge that can only be applicable for the technologies from this company. So this unique knowledge can then be taught by the technician or the one who's actually been working in this company, who has got experience fixing technology for the customer. They can talk about it. They can become the teacher, teaching, and then all the new people who's got into this company as the new employees are being asked to take all these courses taught by their colleagues, because they are the one who know the knowledge, who have the knowledge. So these courses can then be conducted online and be managed through these learning management systems, because it's not going to be only 1 or 2 courses, but then it could be hundreds of courses that the company produce. And sometimes it's not just the newly admitted employees that are requiring them to attend these courses, but sometimes once you step up to the high level, becomes the leaders or whatever things, you need to be trained as well, on an ongoing basis. And then you can be going to this learning management platform to access the e-learning courses or online courses. And then you take it from there. Your boss might be able to check your progress, or your whether or not you have been to the course and how far you have been to the course. So that's something that they can track as well, if some of the learning systems may allow them to do so. Okay, so and they can manage the course materials, the course discussions, and the examining assessment as well, tracking as well. That's just exactly what I said to you. So that's like more or less it's how like you use your learning management system to actually help you to share, or like to share knowledge, and for allowing people to acquire knowledge. Okay, so I think that's it, right, for knowledge management chapter. Now I'm going to go on with the new chapter, which is to do with collaboration. I already posted this in the Blackboard, okay? So this is information system in enterprise and enterprise application system for collaboration and teamwork in organization, right? It's related textbook chapter, chapter 2, okay? So this term, it's a very, very prominent and important term, okay? Because it's a trend now that you work together. It's a trend now that you need to be exposed to the knowledge that not you know that knowledge, but it's the knowledge that known to other people. So you are sitting in the table meeting with these people. Okay, so hold on, this is not, see, I've got the problem with this computer. Hold on, just sorry about this. Once I write on it, it's got the problems. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So we have this collaborations. Okay. That is important, like I said to you before. And it has been something that I think I remember drawing the picture here. Okay. So people sitting together in order to share, in order to like speak to one another, because each of you know different things. Or you might be not talking about the same thing, but in different angles, because you've been exposed to different experiences. So it's important that you get to speak to them and share what you know, because sometimes you are here to coming up with a solution, something that is new, wow, unique, something that is not like other people. So in order for you to get that, you gotta be, sharing, because it's not that easy for you to actually close your eyes and then open your eyes up and then knew something like wow. In order to get a wow idea, you really have to like talk to one another, to be exposed to different perspectives. And that allows you to be able to innovate here, the terms. You can't, it's going to be difficult for you to only relying on your own piece of knowledge in order for you to innovate to something new. I think it's important that you talk about this, you know about this, but then you know about this in different perspectives. And that different perspectives, it's coming from the fact that you actually been exposed to some others' ideas. You talk to them, you discuss with them, you meet with them. So that's, basically about the growing importance of collaborations. It's changing nature of work. It's really more the, when in the organization, they look for someone who can collaborate. Not just you work with your boss and then that's it. They want someone who can communicate and collaborate. They want someone who can interact. They want someone who can, it's a change of organization of firms where people are more collaborative. And then if you talk about the tall organization and flat organization, it's so tall, it's different layers. So you don't get to speak up, the top layers don't get an access to, or you're not going to talk to the top and bottom. Whereas like if the flat organization, you don't have that many layers. So the bottom one can speak to the top one more, like, that's how it is nowadays, where they get people from different levels to be joining and then, talking to one another. Okay. So scope of the firms, it's not just within your, local area. When we talk about global firms, they relate, they get people who actually not just from within their local branches, but they get people from, international branches, global part of the company, to speak to the one that's in local. So it's a global firm, but it doesn't mean that you only speak to the local people, but you get to communicate and collaborate with people from, outside your countries. And sometimes if the countries where your employees or your colleagues are locating in are very far away from where you are. So you gotta have the technologies like what we are doing right now, that it's possible that someone who's not in Thailand, like, in the beginning of semester, we have got Mr. Finland who was studying with us from Finland, to be able to join a network, to collaborate, to debate, to be in a lecture, even though you're not in Thailand. but we still can work together on the global basis. And that gets you to speak and then gets you to what we call innovation, like what I explained to you earlier. So the culture of work is more like we work together, we share instead of I know what I know, you know what you know, I never know what you know, or you never know what I know. But it's like we know each other. You knew I know what you know, and I knew what you did, and it's like that's how it is in the workplace now, because like what I said to you before, you can't just think of everything all by yourself. You just need to get this help from other people as well. So what is social business? So social business is use of social networking platform. The term social really leads you to like um, the terms collaborations. Once you get the term collaboration, it's like people come collaborate, and then it's how some socializing, right? Social business use of social networking platform, internal, external, to engage employees, customers, and suppliers, aims to deepen interactions and expedite information sharing. That's something to be comply with what we taught before about knowledge management. You seems to be wanting to share what you know, interact, conversations to strengthen bonds with the customer, require information transparency. So we share, we know what you know, I know what I know what you know, and you know what we know. You know what I do, I know what you do. Transparency. Seen as a way to drive operational efficiency, spur innovation, expand decision making. So that's how it's get to be like in the companies nowadays, that they actually using social network. Many companies, some companies, like something like Facebook, they might have it in some companies where they have their own like social networking, platform where they want people to network. Why? Because what we just taught you before before we come to this topic, it's knowledge management. And in order for people to share, you got to get them to collaborate. Okay, you got them to collaborate. So through collaboration, they talk, they socialize. And not just people within the company, they want you to talk with their customers, suppliers. And how do you talk if you cannot be together? They have the technologies like what we are using right now to allow people to socialize, to allow people to communicate. Now they pay attention to the fact that they want people to socialize and collaborate, because out of that, it helps you to do lots like operation efficiency, decision making, innovation. So teamwork is important nowadays, and I think if you are going for the job I think that one of the things that they look out from the candidates or applicants to get into the firm is to see whether or not you can work as a team with other people. Right. So investment in collaboration technology can return large rewards, especially in sales, marketing, research, and development, because you need to help each other to coming up with strategies, to develop something new, innovation, new products. Like I said to you before, exactly that it's going to be difficult for you to actually try to come up with something new without without talking to someone, or without being exposed to someone else ideas. I'm not saying that you are copying someone else's idea, but I'm just telling you that being exposed to some other's perspective, it would help you to be able to think of what you think about in others' perspective, and that allows you to be able to develop ideas. So in order for you to be productive, you got to be sharing, resolving problems. Like sometimes problems comes and you have to collaboratively solve the problems. But then you cannot rely in order to solve the problem, you cannot only rely on your own knowledge, but you have to get some help or share with your colleagues about how to solve the problems. If you do things together, it's a faster way solution for issues. So 2 person, 3 person help each other to think about what to do. Innovation, exactly what I said, more ideas for products and services because you get exposed to different ideas. Customer service, complaints handled more rapidly. You get other people to help you to service your customer. Okay, financial performance generated by improvement in financial factors above, because everything's else well. Customer is good, innovation is good, quality is good, productivity is good. That people comes to you, customer comes to you, they like your products, they comes to buy your product, they like your service, they like the way you handle the complaints. Then they keep coming back to your company. They keep purchasing products or service from your company. Then that helps with the financial performance then. Okay, so that's why they actually thinks collaboration is important. So here in the class, we're talking about the use of information technologies. Now let's just get into this part where in order for you to actually be successful in collaboration, good quality, that's going to lead to the good performance like what we discussed earlier. We have 2 boxes here. Okay, we have 2 boxes there. First, capabilities. Second, technologies. So use of collaboration and social technology for implementation operation, use of collaborative and social technology for strategic planning. Well, I think if you compare this to the top box here, the top box is much more challenging. The second box, like I always said, that technology is something that you can actually buy in. But technology won't work if people don't use it. So how do you get people to come to collaborate through the technical platform? So you have to build the culture, which is open, that I know, I know what you do, you know what I do. Decentralized structure, meaning that I don't decide everything. We help each other to decide, to plan. We empower you as the leader. You empower employees to help doing the things. Not just like every centralized structure means like all the decisions, leader decision making, not important decision making, minor decision making is still made by the top person. But now they want to talk about centralized structure, mean they generate, empower, decision makings towards someone else. So that's give you the sense of team working there. Right. Breadth of collaborations. Even though you talk as a team, how much, how deep you collaborate. Sometimes people just talk. They don't even listen to one another. They just sit together. But then still, the top one still dominate everything. When we talk about the breadth of collaboration, it means that you really, really work together. If you get that cultures of people working together, and use the collaboration technologies, then you will get the good qualities, and that's going to lead you to the good performance. Okay. So building a collaborative culture and business process, that's a challenging part. Command and control collaboratively cultured. No, I'm not saying that, in your business process, I mean, we're talking about here that in your business processes, are you actually collaborating? Like your process is like letting you to do pretty much standalone sort of things, or your process involve collaborations. Nowadays the trend is like they're trying to engage collaboration into processes, and then you get the technologies like what we're studying in this class to facilitate your collaboration, to facilitate you to share, to facilitate you to allow the automatic flow of information from one party to the other party, really give you, you know, convenience to work together more. Okay. Now, in the past, traditionally, collaboration may not be that trendy, like what we've seen from the past. It's more like command and control. Organization where value placed on teamwork or lower level participation in decisions. I believe it's not like a trend of how you work nowadays, but still, I'm not going to be saying that command and control is not the things that you are not going to do it. Some context, some circumstance that you still need to relying on the command and control. Like I think in the army, maybe that's sort of things that you need to really still relying on this command and control. But if you talk about like in the business organization that you really need to innovate and come up with ideas and then be able to like stand out from your competitors or compete with other people. Even nowadays, the competitors that might that's partnership strategies where they don't compete though. They work together to actually gain benefit from one another. They think this and they don't know this, whereas they know this and you don't know this. Why don't we join and work together and then brings more value to our customers, and then both of us are getting richer because you don't have to be or the only one who's successful, and then you have this much thing and you try to claim for this. Why don't you work together and make it a bigger things, and then you enjoy this bigger thing half and half, rather than just one person get this and the other didn't get that. I mean, that's how it is. But then to get this to become something more variable and a bigger value, you got to collaborate. So senior manager relies on teams and employees. Not just you think of everything all by yourself, but then you gotta build the teams up. Policy, product, design, process, and system rely on teams. So you work as a team to come up with all this. Manager purpose is to build team, which is very challenging. I mean, when you say build team, it's like, well, you just put people to work together, but then it goes back to this slides where people, if you just put people to be together, it doesn't mean that they will collaborate. They can just sit together, but they don't collaborate really actively in breadth. So that's why it's really the manager who has to build teams, really a real team, right? So once you get the real teams, and sometimes the teams are not together, I mean the members are not together, you gotta be allowing them to still work together. So if not, then that's why the technology plays into part here. If you're not living in the same countries, you're not living in the same, working in the same buildings, or you can't be together, like just like now that we can't be we not together, so we're still studying online, and then we're going to be debating, we're going to be presenting. That's very collaborative, and then we still do it online. So email, instant messaging, something that you knew already. Wikis, virtual worlds, something that's trending right now, that you get people to actually become someone's like avatar of yourself, being the social world, collaborating with the other persons. That's possible. then that may be something more trendy in the futures to collaborate in the virtual world. We have something exactly what we're using right now, video conferencing, telepresence. Some of you may be using Google Drive, Google Docs, cloud collaboration services. Microsoft SharePoint, IBM knows this is, the companies, IBM and Microsoft, where they come up with the, application or software where it allows people to work together, communicate, and share documents. Manage the document, manage the content that allows you to search the documents, store the documents, and things like that. And also social working tools where, social networking system. And we talked about it in the knowledge management system chapter already, that in some companies, the companies trying to get people to network one another, and they can't be together. So you gotta get them the people who are residing in these different countries to network. So when you network, then that's the platform for you to collaborate. And then once you allow people to collaborate online, then they can then collaborate and socialize, and then they can work together. And then again, they can think of something together, they can innovate together. So basically, I think for this chapter, it's something that's pretty basic for you, that you've seen this in your real life already, that sometimes you have to work with your teammates online because of the COVID-19. So there's a social distancing and everything. So that's basically it's what happened in organizations throughout that. When agents or instructor ask you to do the teamwork or group work, it's something that it's happening in real workplace as well. So in the social networking, so it's more or less like what you can see from Facebook's graduate profile, content profiling, feed notification, groups and team workspaces, tracking social bookmarking, permission privacy. So basically, it's something that you've seen in the out there normal social networking, but I'm just trying to say that they have been using this technology or come up with their own technology just inside the company to get people to network. But from the function itself is similar to what you've seen in the general social networking systems, where you can share the social bookmarking, you can tag who knows what, and then this workspace there you can meet, you can chat, you can share documents there. Okay, you can gather the rooms of these people on this page, where these are the people who are interested in this. These are the community of people who are interested in that topic, where this is the other community of people who are interested in that topic and linked together. Okay. So in order for you to actually think of what collaboration technologies you are going to be using, you have to think of yourself how you work first. I mean, some of the things that you think about collaborations, we're asking the question to yourself, like how much collaboration and what the nature of organization that you are doing. There's a lot of free things out there that you can use for the collaboration purposes, not having to pay for the technologies. There's lots of technologies out there that you can use it to share, to communicate, to work together. So think about how you collaborate, and that's something to be spoken or talk about in the next slide. Time and space metrics. This is what it is. Okay, we're talking about this in a few minutes, but before we get to that, look at the 6 steps in evaluating software tools. So identify your firm's collaboration challenges, identify what kinds of solutions are available. Is that a free solution, or the things that you really need are something that you need to purchase? Analyze available product costs and benefits. Evaluate security risks, consult user for implementation and training issues, and evaluate product vendors. You're going to be talking more about this in the next chapter when you are trying to decide on, getting a new application or technology in your organization. We're going to be talking about the system development process that tells you how, what are the process involved in getting the application or technologies or software to be implemented in your organizations. But talking about this slide first, you need to, the things that is very important as you for you as a user is that making sure that you are getting the right technologies, the right tools. It doesn't mean that the expensive technologies will answer the questions. You just need to buy something that fits your challenge, your the things that you're trying to solve, and the nature of how you work. Just like you buy clothes, just like you buy the mobile phone, like you want the clothes, you want the technologies of mobile phone that is going to respond to your demand or your needs. If you don't need that much memory, you don't need that much this and that, you don't have to pay that much, because if you pay for it and then you don't use it, it's not going to be worthwhile investment. Right. So this is how you look at the nature of your collaboration and like the place. Okay, here if you look at this time and place, that's why we're talking about time and space metrics. Think about how you collaborate. Okay, if we talk about COVID-19 right now, that we are facing this situation, different places might be something prominent nowadays because of the social distancing policy. But if you forget about the COVID-19s, people can be seeing one another face to face like other times. So same place is another thing there. But sometimes people, even though at the same place, but people can't be meeting at the same time. Or like if you are having to be in different places, but then sometimes you still cannot be at the same time. Or sometimes you can be at the same time. So this got same time synchronous, different time asynchronous, same place co-locate, and different place remote. So here it comes to like different types of technologies. If you are having to be together, your company's nature of working is that you come to the office. Okay, nowadays, forget about the COVID-19 first. Let's say the COVID-19 is gone already, so you are back, resume back to the normal ways of doing. So some companies ask the employees to be in the companies working today every day from 8 to 5. The meetings must be in the same rooms and then do face-to-face interactions. So you get decision rooms, single display, groupware, microphone, computers, projectors, displays, roomware to allow people to interact face-to-face, because in the same place and same time. Whereas if you talk about same place, different time, you might be working with your friends who has class in the morning, but you cannot meet in the morning, but you are in the same building, but you got class in the afternoon when you are free in the morning, whereas your friend is free in the afternoon. But you still want to work together. You might want to be able to see one another during lunchtime, and that's only 1 hour you meet, but then the rest of the time, so then we're day, you gotta be still collaborate. In that case, you might have a team rooms where you have the display, last public display, shifts, workwear, project management, all those things that are in the team rooms where it allows you to be able to like work together. And at the same time, you can use this room to work together as well during the lunchtime, because that's when you meet. But how about if you cannot be together? Remote, so that's like face-to-face interaction and continuous talks for different time, but in the same place. But how about now? We are doing that's exactly what we do, remote interactions. Now it's not very interactive because I don't get you to speak up that much, but then after the break, we will get to interact. And we do it at the same time. Right now, we are together in this video conferencing. Not just Zoom, like what we're doing. We have instant messaging chats, moods, virtual words, MUDs, yes, words. Sorry, virtual words, share screens, multi-user. We can share the screen like what I do right now. Right, you can help each other. Sometimes you can help each other to edit what's on the screen. but at the same time, work together. How about the last one here? It's pretty trendy because you're not going to be working with only people from your local area or with the people who are residing in the countries nearby, where it's pretty much the time zone is not much difference. But we're talking about working with people who might be in European countries, who might be in North American countries, where it's the time zone is pretty big gap. So you got communication coordinations where you get email, bulletin boards, blog, asynchronous conferencing, group calendars, workflows, version control, wiki. So you get people to work together online. But then they can contribute, but not at the same time online. Something like Google Docs, something like social networking. You leave the message, you leave the report. This is what you edit on the report. Then they comes up and you see the report, and then they see what you have done so far. By this time that they've seen what you have done so far, you have gone to bed already, but then just walk up to continue to what you did. And then you're not together. You do it online. So I think that's something you actually came across. I think it's pretty common. And what I'm trying to say is that it's something also common in the real workplace. And I think when we talk about collaborations, even though I know now it's COVID-19, situation that you are required to, with the social distance policy, it's pretty much a lot more on the collaboration online. But think about in the futures where COVID-19 is already gone, that we resume back to our normal life where we come and see each other face to face. Does that skills that you need as a person that, like even nowadays, we now that we collaborate online, I think the collaboration itself happens between human beings, two human beings. Technology is only the place, like the room for the meeting, or like this Zoom technology is the place, the platform, online platform where we can come and meet. But collaboration itself is happening between human beings. So you got to go back to the slide that I talk about managers about to build team, and you have to have the open culture. So that's important part, that how do you get people to actually be willing to work, collaborate, and share, and all those. And that's the challenge, very challenging part in a real workplace, to get people to really work together. And then there's something called conflict management that really get people to have difficulties in collaborate. So I think as a manager, you really have to manage that as well, in order to get people to openly share and then work together. Okay, so that is the end of this chapter here. It's a pretty short chapter here. Next week, we're going to be talking about system development process, information system development, which is something that is pretty important as well. Now, I'm going to get you to the break. Today, we are going to be doing a debate on one case that I think you all have ideas about it. I'm trying to pick something that is nearby your life, okay? So that you can debate about it. I think this is something you want to think about it for your case competition as well. I think I have mentioned in the class that we're going to be running the Airbnb case. I think that's going to be something that I think I will do next week. But today's week, for this week, we're going to be doing something that is to do with the case as well, with the companies as well. And I think this is the company that you should be familiar with. And we're going to be doing something about it. Okay. So for now, I'm going to get you to, it's going to be, I will randomly also call on you and check your names as well after the break, because there will be just similar to what we discussed earlier, like from the last week, that you need to speak up. Oh, yes, Pam, you reminded me, yes. Next week is a midterm. Yes, we don't have a class next week. Yeah, we don't have a class next week. Hello. Okay, because it's the midterm week, so the week after, isn't it? Right. Okay. Thank you, Pam, for your wonderful reminder, reminding me. Yeah. So let me, okay, hold on. Let me try to double check. Okay. So yeah, next week is the midterm, so we don't have class. Again, just to remind you that the week after next week, I mean, which is 2 weeks from now, you don't forget to tell me which cases you're doing. That's when I think Pam will help me to gather all the list of the companies that you have discussed with your teams. I mean, and your I would say rari teams, like the other teams that you're competing with, to agree upon which case you're doing. Okay, and then the group 1 and 2 will be starting to do their first case competitions on the 30th of March. Okay, so okay, right? So yeah, so next week no class, so the week after next week we'll get to see you. Anyway, we should go for a break now, right? So I will see you again at 10:28. Okay, 10:28. Thank you very much. Have a good 15-minute break then. See you. Hello, I am back. How are you today? You still doing well? Okay, so what are we doing today? We are going to be still debating. But we're going to be debating about two companies, which is Netflix and Disney Plus. So it's, online streaming services is something pretty competitive out there in the real world. And it's something that I think in your generation, at your age, you're familiar with that, or even more familiar with me. I mean, you might spend time entertaining yourself at your age a lot on this entertaining streaming services. But there's a big competitions there. Okay. The debate topic is, but before we get to that, okay, but let me show you the debate topic first. Okay. Okay. Which one, Netflix or Disney Plus has the better business potential both in the short run and long run? Okay. This is the debate topic. Which one has the better business potential both in the long run, in the short run and long run? So it's either this plus or either Netflix or Disney Plus. Right. So we're gonna need 6 people to debate on this topic. But before we go to debate, I'd like you to watch these 2 clips to get some ideas. And I am so gonna be very grateful, very happy to see some of the volunteers who actually about debates, about Disney Plus. You've been watching, you've been using their services, or or even though you don't use that service, but then you know about it so much because it's something that I believe people in your generation, that's how you entertain yourself. You go online and you know about not just these 2 streaming services, but other streaming services that you may have familiar or experience with. That might be something that you draw into your acumen in the debates. So if you are willing to share your opinions, do so. For the rest of the class who are not debating, I'm gonna be doing what I usually do is I'm calling some names to express your opinions as which one you think has more potential, which team you think you're leaning towards to, and then say why, and then I'll ask the teams to actually defend their arguments. If no volunteers, I'm going to be calling some names to join the team as well. So, but first of all, I like the one who is actually know pretty much about Disney Plus or Netflix, or really have experiencing quite a lot on online streaming services to volunteer yourself to debate. So that would be greatly appreciated. So not to wasting more time. So I'm gonna share the link of the clip. Okay. So that's 2 clips. So here is the first one. Okay. I'm gonna share the link to the other one later. Now let's just watch this one first. I'm going to share it in the chat. Okay, so okay, I think you should see the link now. All right, so why don't you watch it now? Thank you.
There's a big battle for your dollar, and it's being waged inside your streaming devices and smart TVs. Disney Plus arrived in 2019, and it's challenging Netflix for the title of king of all streaming media. Disney's got a good leg up when it comes to the price of entry, but Netflix built a strong fortress of originals and licensed movies. So which one is better? We'll help you decide exactly that in today's video. But before we continue, if you don't want to miss a video, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell to get notified every time we post new videos. Let's get started. The pandemic forced most of us inside, sometimes for weeks on end. Zoom hangs got tired pretty quickly. Puzzles were finished in rapid succession, and there were only so many home workouts to be done in a day. Everyone was streaming all the time, to the point that data caps were instituted in countries around the world by regulatory boards that were worried the internet would crash under the strain. Today, Netflix and Disney Plus are at the top and are giving tough competition to one another. So let's start comparing. Price. Disney Plus costs $6.99 a month. Disney also offers an annual subscription that's priced at $69.99 a year. And there is also a bundle deal that allows buyers to get Disney Plus, Hulu with ads, and ESPN Plus for $12.99 a month. That cuts the price of an individual Disney Plus subscription by $4.33 a month. Finally, Verizon Wireless Unlimited customers can get 1 year of Disney Plus for free. Comparatively, Netflix is more expensive. Its lowest price tier for most territories is $8.99 a month, which supports one concurrent stream at 480p video resolution. The second tier costs $13.99 a month with 2 concurrent streams and 1080p resolution. The third tier costs $17.99 a month with 4 streams at the same time and 4K resolution support. Netflix recently did away with its long-running 30-day free trial offer for new subscribers in the US. To be fair, Netflix is experimenting with mobile-only subscriptions in certain markets. The price for that tier, which is only for smartphones and tablets, is less than $5 a month, where it is available. However, Netflix has not made it available in most of its countries. Even though it doesn't have a free trial anymore, Disney Plus wins the price war, at least for now. Content. Here's where we move from fact to figures to personal preferences. And in fact, there's an argument to be made that these services aren't really competing very much at all, in that they aren't really courting the same audiences. Both streaming services have a huge library of content at their disposal, but Disney Plus's catalog, as you'd expect, very family-friendly. It's packed with big-hitting golden oldies and the entire Marvel and Star Wars portfolios, but there isn't much in the way of original, created for Disney Plus content. In fact, at the time of publication, there were only 35 Disney Plus originals. However, this has grown from a measly 13 in March. Netflix, on the other hand, offers a far broader mix of different genres, and its content library constantly is in flux. There's way more original content on Netflix than there is on its rival. But considering how fresh the Disney Plus platform is, that's to be expected. Features and availability. Both Disney Plus and Netflix are available on several platforms such as Android, iOS, Fire Sticks, Chromecast devices, and even personal computing or laptops. You can enjoy these 2 online streaming services via distinct browsers. Except for the 4 countries, China, North Korea, Crimea, and Syria, Netflix is available in 190 countries. On the other hand, only a few countries such as the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Netherlands, and others. Disney Plus has more family-friendly shows and less of its original content. However, its most significant advantage is some of the best and highly rated shows of Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars, which often attracts people's attention. Moreover, it has 7 user profiles, which is a bit higher than that of Netflix, which has only 5 user profiles. Contrary to Disney Plus, Netflix might not have access to the most popular TV shows, but it has its original content, which often fascinates people. Platform. Disney Plus apps are available for Android and iOS mobile devices. It also supports Chromecast devices, as well as TVs with built-in Chromecast capabilities. It's also available for Android TV televisions and set-top boxes like the Invita Shield. Disney Plus can be streamed on a PC or on web browsers, but specifics have not been revealed. Disney Plus apps are available for Microsoft Xbox One and Sony PlayStation 4 consoles too. It's also on Roku TVs, streaming sticks, and set-top boxes, Amazon Fire TV sticks, and televisions. Android TV devices, Vizio Smart TVs, and Samsung and LG Smart TVs have their own Disney Plus apps. There's been no confirmation of a Disney Plus app for the Nintendo Switch, even though a slide from Disney's Investor Day event showed the app running on the Switch. As far as Netflix is concerned, in terms of availability, the question is, what devices don't support it? It's available on iOS and Android smartphones and tablets, and it supports Roku and Amazon Fire TV-based devices, Chromecast devices, and TVs with built-in Chromecast. It also supports Android TV-based televisions with set-top boxes. Of course, Netflix is available via a variety of web browsers for PC laptops and desktops. Netflix is also available on a ton of game consoles. That includes Microsoft's Xbox One, Sony PlayStation 4, and even Nintendo Wii U and 3DS. Apps are available for a variety of smart TVs, cable boxes, and even Blu-ray players. It looks like Netflix wins the platform category, at least during the launch, although Disney Plus could catch up later. Interface. Coming to the interface of both, each one of them has a unique interface. Disney Plus has its content displayed in horizontal rows in a jumbled up pattern. It even shows you the contents or the shows that can interest you. Moreover, since it has access to Marvel, Pixar, and National Geographic and Star Wars, separate buttons are created for each. On the other hand, Netflix has its content organized according to the different genres such as thriller, comedy, or romantic. You can view any of the shows according to your choice. Subscribers. Netflix's streaming service has now been going for more than 10 years, so it has a far bigger subscriber base than Disney Plus. On April 9th, Disney Plus hit the 50 million mark, a significant milestone that came less than 5 months after the service initially went live in the US, Canada, and the Netherlands on November 12th. Disney has said that it's aiming to have between 60 million and 90 million subscribers by the end of 2024. Netflix had 182.856 million paid subscribers by the end of March 2020, having added 15.77 million paid customers during the first quarter of this year. So which should you opt for? There are no easy answers to this question. Prime Video has a vast regional language content, and its subscription comes bundled with other Prime benefits. Netflix, on the other hand, has one of the biggest libraries of TV shows and movies in its kitty, while Hotstar, which is now Disney Plus Hotstar, has content from Disney and its companies, which include HBO and Fox, in addition to a vast collection of Bollywood movies and TV shows from Indian channels. Ultimately, it boils down to a simple question: what do you want to watch? If you're looking for more content in Indic languages, Prime Video might be a better fit for you. And if you are all about movies and documentaries, Netflix might suit you better. And if you're a fan of superhero movies and shows and movies that are streamed on Disney's family of channels, Disney Plus Hotstar might prove to be a better fit for you. And that's all for today's video. We hoped you enjoyed watching it, and if you did, don't forget to like this video before leaving. Thanks for watching.
The Batman is directed by Matt Reeves and stars Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne and Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle, and Paul Dano as the Riddler. In this film, Bruce Wayne has been prowling the city streets of Gotham at night as Batman for 2 years. He's pretty new to the job, and the police don't really trust him yet, although Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, has developed a friendship with him. And when dead bodies begin to show up with cryptic clues left by a serial killer calling himself...
At least it gives you like... I just want you to see like the comparisons between these two platforms, and then they look at the price, the features, and the contents and everything. So I mean, not everything, but most of the things that you think. It's pretty critical in terms of comparing between these two online streaming platforms. The reason why I'm asking you to do debate about this, because it leads you to our case competition activities that's going to happen. It's going to happen after the midterm. That when you talk about the case, basically have to analyze. You can't get the solutions before you analyze what's going on. So to debate about these two companies today, it really gives you the sense of once you have to analyze. What's involved in analysis, and how would you argue and defend about your analysis, okay? Because in the case competition, you will have to debate as well. All right, so why don't we try, to be familiar with something about that. Anyway, I've got more clips to get you to be more familiar with what we're talking about today. and then after the watching this clip, then we will start debating. Okay, so I'm going to now share another link, which is okay. You should see the link now. Okay, so why don't you watch that and I will talk to you later. Thank you.
As many people know, Netflix is a streaming service that lets you stream shows and movies over the internet. There's been many articles written about cord cutting, which essentially means leaving cable for streaming services. And honestly, I'm happy this happened because companies like Comcast have taken advantage of customers by overcharging for cable and other services. So many people have flocked to alternatives. And that's where Netflix comes in. Netflix was founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings, and at first it only offered online movie rentals. In essence, they were competitors with Blockbuster, which dominated the video rental market. But here's the funny thing. The founder of Netflix, Reed Hastings, was a customer of Blockbuster, but Blockbuster was known for charging late fees for not returning a movie on time. It was such a big thing that Blockbuster made $800 million in late fees, which was 16% of their revenue. But one day Reed Hastings was late and he was fined $40, and that influenced him to make his own company. You see, at first, Netflix would mail DVDs to their customers for a flat monthly rate, so it was a learning curve for people because this was in the late 1990s and many people preferred to rent movies online because there was more selection and no late fees. But Netflix didn't scare Blockbuster, and Blockbuster even rejected to buy Netflix for $50 million in the year 2000. By the way, Netflix is worth over $230 billion today, so that was a really bad mistake, especially considering all but one Blockbuster store remains open. So it's easy to see that Netflix and other competition put Blockbuster out of business due to Blockbuster's inability to innovate. But that's not all. Netflix didn't start their streaming service until 2007, which is 10 years after it was founded. But it wasn't all about streaming because any company can stream movies or TV shows. Netflix began creating their own content, and that created a lot of financial value for Netflix. House of Cards, Stranger Things, Orange is the New Black, the list goes on. And this original content that Netflix has created a following for them. And that's why Netflix leads the streaming market. They have over 180 members across 190 countries. And with that comes competition, because when there's success in a field, you're going to get tough competition just like Blockbuster had. So now we're going to talk about some of Netflix's competitors, the first being Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, and Disney+. All these competitors have a significant market share in the streaming space. Amazon Prime Video has over 150 million subscribers, and this number is growing very quickly since they are also creating original content. Now, Amazon has an interesting take on this because they're also selling to their customers. So they have a greater market share of the customer themselves because they have both the retail side and streaming side. So Amazon's primary business, which is selling products, can definitely help them get more subscribers for Amazon Prime Video. And when you're a Prime member, you're paying $120 per year, but if you just want the streaming service, it'll be $9 per month. I see Amazon as a huge threat to Netflix since it's already a huge company and they have a lot of resources to work with. And with that, let's talk about Hulu and Disney+. Disney bought a stake in Hulu worth around $6 billion, and this gave Disney control over Hulu. And this means that Disney has less competition in the streaming arena. Hulu has way less members than Netflix and Amazon Prime Video with around 30 million subscribers, but Hulu gives you way more options than the other platforms. They have 4 different pricing points which could appeal to a broad demographic. And the most appealing deal is that you can purchase a subscription bundle, meaning if you pay around $13 per month, you can get Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN. This is all due to the fact that Disney has a controlling stake in Hulu. Now, Disney+ is relatively new, coming out in 2019, but they have a lot of content that they can provide to customers, such as Disney, Pixar, and Marvel movies, and even Star Wars. Wars. So with that, you can see that Netflix was a huge disruptor in their industry, essentially putting Blockbuster out of business. But now other larger companies that have more resources are trying to take the market share away from Netflix. So here comes the issues. When there's more competition in the streaming space, bidding wars happen for content. For example, Hulu paid $150 million to have the right to stream Seinfeld on their platform. In 2021, this contract expires, and investors expect that there will be a licensing bidding war for the sitcom. So with Amazon, Disney, and Hulu at Netflix's neck, it's going to be hard for them to acquire sought-after content. Then there's cash flow. Just recently, Netflix posted positive cash flow since they had strong profits due to its ability to generate a lot of revenue from its subscribers. But here's the issue. Netflix has to consistently produce and purchase great content to keep these subscribers. So if they have a couple of flops, then they could lose members, and eventually they can go into a negative cash flow again. So this increase in competition is not good for Netflix, and they have to find a way to stick out from the crowd because all these platforms are looking very similar to each other. Netflix at this point lacks a competitive advantage. However, even with this issue, Netflix seems to be a growth stock because of its PE ratio and other metrics. Now, it's hard to tell whether or not Amazon Prime Video or Hulu is in the growth category since Hulu is private. But it's safe to say that if Netflix is still growing, that Amazon and Hulu are growing too, or even at a higher pace since Hulu only has 30 million subscribers and they have a lot of room to grow. So it really comes down to this. Netflix is a great company. I mean, they defeated Blockbuster, which is a multi-billion-dollar company when Netflix was a small company. So Netflix definitely is a disruptor. But with stiff competition and the recent dilemma of falling short of gaining the amount of subscribers that the market thought Netflix would have, it seems as if Netflix is growing, but at a slower pace. Because analysts thought that Netflix would add about 3.4 million new subscribers in their latest quarter, but they only added 2.2 million. So that's a huge letdown for Netflix, and may even show that people rather use other platforms. For me, I'd rather use the Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN bundle that Disney offers because it allows you to get all three great platforms for only paying $13 per month. That's the power that Disney has since it's a huge company. And that's the issue that Netflix really has to face because Amazon may try to throw more cash into their streaming service, which they definitely can, and that will cause more competition, and at the end of the day, will lower Netflix's profits. Netflix needs to find a competitive advantage. I'm not sure what it is, but they need to find a way to beat Amazon and Disney, even though they're way larger than Netflix. It's like a blast to the past for Netflix when they had to deal with Blockbuster. They proved themselves before by beating Blockbuster. Let's see if they can find a way to keep beating their competition, even if they're larger and can produce their own content. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't so far. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks, and see you guys next time.
Hello, I'm back. So, just to remind you, the debate topic. Which one, Netflix or Disney Plus, has the better business potential both in the short run and long run? Okay, I just give you the quick ideas on this by asking you to watch the two clips that you just watched to just get your ideas started. Okay, so it's better business potential both in long run, short run. Okay, who would like to debate here? Any volunteer? Come on, don't be shy. Hello, class. Hello, anyone? Okay. If not, then I am calling 6 people. Okay, I just want to make sure the one who wanted to speak to get the chance to speak. But if not, then I am in the position of having to call some people. Okay. So, can I call? Next one. Hello, next one. And how about pawn? Is pawn around?
Teacher, didn't we just debate last class?
Hello.
Okay, I've got you already. Okay, next one. What did you say?
I mean, last class, I, Pon, and Pamela is already debating, I guess.
Yeah, I know that it's like it's okay if you debate again, unless you do not want to. Okay. But I'm just, call. I mean, it's okay if you debate. I mean, most of the people in the class already debated already. Okay. Are you right, Pond?
Can I have
Maybe.
another time?
Okay, fine. I'm fair enough. If you don't want to, I don't want to force you. Okay, all right.
Thank you. I'll volunteer next time.
Okay. So it's Pond.
I'll volunteer next time too, because I have volunteered 3 times already.
Okay, all right. In that case, I'm calling Poi. Are you around? Okay. Andนิธินัน
Hello.
Okay, นิธินัน and Pirapat, are you around, Pirapat? Pirapat? Pirapat not here. Panaton.
Yes.
Okay, Panaton.